Hey, what's going on, guys? So we got some really bullish news about how much Bitcoin these massive banks actually have. So on Wednesday, they released their 13F quarterly filings, and this is really bullish for a couple of reasons, which I'll get to a little later in the video. So how much does Morgan Stanley have? Well, they have $188 million in Bitcoin ETFs. They have $1.5 trillion in AUM. So there's a lot to grow from there, right? Goldman Sachs, $418 million in Bitcoin ETFs. JP Morgan hasn't even gotten started yet. They barely have any ETFs. There is a fund called Millennium Management with $62 billion in AUM. They hold $1.1 billion in ETFs. There's a London-based hedge fund with $30 billion in AUM that holds $464 million in Bitcoin ETFs. Now, why is this really bullish? Well, a couple of reasons. Basically, Morgan Stanley, we know they just basically gave their advisors to sell Bitcoin ETFs to private clients that have over, I think, $1.5 million in net worth. So that's really bullish right there. So all of these inflows from the big banks, these are from people that already had an account coming to their advisors or deciding to buy ETFs on their own. None of these, for the banks, are their advisors selling these ETFs to their clients. So there is a huge, huge market that is completely untapped, right? In addition, these banks are not holding Bitcoin or buying Bitcoin on their balance sheet just to hold. For example, like what MicroStrategy does and what a lot of other companies are doing. So these are banks that are just holding it for their clients that actually went out and asked to buy this kind of stuff or buy these ETFs, right? So the amount of money that is going to be coming into the space, I believe, is really astronomically high. I think the last I checked, it was like $6 trillion in cash, basically people having money market funds. And that is money that if rates go lower, which I believe they will, they're going to have to deploy that capital because they're not going to be making 4 to 5% on their cash like they have been for the last couple of years, right? So that is a lot of money sitting on the sidelines that are going to be put into something. And when they learn more about Bitcoin and learn how well it's performed and they learn the properties of Bitcoin, and it just makes sense for more people to put some of that idle cash, even if it's 5% of what they have in money market funds or in cash or in CDs or whatever, they put that into Bitcoin, and 5% would move the price a ton. So there's a lot of noise happening, right? There's some dips, and then the dips get bought up very, very quickly, which we're noticing. And some people are frustrated about this sideways movement, but if you take a step back and you zoom back, you can see that a lot of individuals have decided to purchase Bitcoin through ETFs. The banks are then holding a lot of this Bitcoin or these ETFs, but the bank's advisors haven't even begun to sell these ETFs yet. And the banks themselves haven't even begun to purchase Bitcoin to hold on the balance sheet. So a lot of money is still not even aware that Bitcoin exists or that they should be allocating to Bitcoin. So very, very bullish news in my opinion. I think as boring as this sideways market maybe has been for a lot of you guys, and yeah, I mean, I wish it was more exciting too sometimes, but I think what's important to remember is just where we are in this cycle. I mean, I still talk to people all the time. They ask me what I do, and I say I make content for Bitcoin, education, and they're like, oh yeah, I've heard of Bitcoin, or like, yeah, I don't really know much about it. And these are educated, informed, often very wealthy, high-paying jobbed people that don't know anything about Bitcoin yet. So I think we're still very, very, very early with that, guys. So I'll end the video there. Hope you guys are doing well. And that's all. I'm just hanging out with a nice view behind me. It's a little overexposed, but hopefully you can see it there, guys. Take care. Bye for now.